Alright, so now we come to the point in the story, chapter 16, A Thief in the Night, where Bilbo is finally going to do something about the Arkenstone that he has hidden that Thorin doesn't know about. Now, the days passed slowly and warily. Many of the dwarves spent their time piling and ordering the treasure. And now Thorin spoke of the Arkenstone of Thrain, and bade them eagerly to look for it in every corner. For the Arkenstone of my father, he said, is worth more than a river of gold in itself, and to me it is beyond price. That stone of all the treasure I name unto myself, and I will be avenged on anyone who finds it and withholds it. And this scares Bilbo. Not knowing what's going to happen now that he has it, and they find out that he has it. Thorin's not going to be very pleased. And so Dain and 500 dwarves are now on their way to marching towards the mountain. And so Bilbo decides to slip away and go to the army of the elves and men, and to give them the Arkenstone to aid them in parleying with Thorin and company again. And it is at this point in the story that Gandalf finally comes back. As you see him do so many times in this book, and he does it in Lord of the Rings too, where he disappears, comes back, disappears, comes back. That was always something I found fascinating when I first read this. Wow, he does disappear a lot, I've noticed. But he always comes back. And so in chapter 17, the clouds burst. Bilbo, Bilbo returns, but the company of the next day, Bard and the Elven King and their army come back to the mountain and show that they got the Arkenstone, and saying, we'll give this to you for what you owe us. And Thorin completely loses it. And so he sends Bilbo off, threatens to kill him, curses him, because this dragon sickness has taken hold of Thorin, and he's becoming very greedy and wicked because of it. And of course, Dain finally arrives, and they almost start fighting. But that's when the Goblin army with the wolves, the wargs, show up, led by Bolg, son of Azog. Now, Azog is not dead and is not still alive like he is in the movies. In the book, he is completely 100%. He's been dead. His son Bolg controls the armies now. They do come from Mount Gundabad, just like there is an army that comes from Mount Gundabad. Actually, they all do, instead of just one army, like you see in the movie, but be that as it may. And they end up, elves, dwarves, men, team up together to fight their common enemy. And I always thought it was funny in the original Hobbit cartoon movie, when they get to this battle, all you see is little dots jumping around. I always thought that was funny. Peter Jackson does a much better job of showing the Battle of the Five Armies. As of right now, there's only 4 armies. You would think there'd be more because the goblins and the wargs, but they're counted together. They also have bats with them. But they're all one army. Elves are one army, dwarves are one army, men are one army. There's only 4 right now, but there will soon be a 5th one. The eagles arrive, and they come to the rescue. And at this point in the story, Bilbo, of course, is wearing the ring, but he still gets knocked out and doesn't see what happened, doesn't see how the battle ends. And so this chapter doesn't even talk about how it ends. Bilbo finds out later how it ends. We don't get to see it. And of course, in a movie, you can't do that. You actually have to show it, right? And Peter Jackson did just that. And I love the Battle of the Five Armies. I think it was a good movie. I liked all the Hobbit movies. I only had one issue with it. And that is it. And I think most people know what that issue is. It's a common issue that a lot of people have. And I think it is the worst offense in those movies, but still good movies overall. I'm not going to ding them just for that. But yeah, so when all seems lost, the Eagles arrive, and that's the last thing Bilbo sees and he starts shouting, the Eagles are coming! And then, of course, gets knocked out. Alrighty, well, that is the end of this video. So the next video, I will talk about the last 2 chapters, and that'll be it. We are done. So I'll see you soon.